Dear students, welcome to the today's class. The today's class about the level of biodiversity. The previous video we discussed the introduction of the biodiversity. Who introduced the term of the biodiversity is introduced by Edward Wilson. The concept of the biodiversity is given by Rosen in the year of 1985. That is about the previous video. Now the continuation of that video according to our NCERT textbook. Now today we are going to discuss about the level of biodiversity. In the level of biodiversity, we are basically divided into the three categories, and they are the genetic level of biodiversity. The second one is the species level of biodiversity. Next, the third one is ecological level of biodiversity. That now what we have to do in that, the one by one, the definition and explanation we will going to discuss. Now it is the first one is the genetic biodiversity. What is the definition of genetic biodiversity? See here that in genetic biodiversity definition, a single species might show high diversity at the genetic level, but in a single species there is a might show the variety, means high diversity at the genetic level. That what is a gene? The genetic nothing but in gene. For example, you can take the ones go for the genetics. It is a cell is the nucleus. The nucleus is present the what? Chromosome. The chromosome present the DNA. In the DNA present the genes are is there. What happens? This biodiversity takes place in the genes level. Biodiversity takes place in the genes level. That we will explain the genetic level of biodiversity through one example. That what is the one example of that? Once here that one example that. So we can take the what is the Rauwolfia omitoria and Rauwolfia serpentina. These both are the medicinal plant. These both can be lived in different Himalaya ranges. They can live in different Himalaya ranges. For here the Rauwolfia omitoria, maybe in that Himadri ranges, Rauwolfia, maybe Sivalik ranges, the serpentina. They both are the same species that, but due to the lived in different habitat is different of the Himalaya ranges. What is happening that there is the one is the alkaloid. They can be released. They are having the one alkaloid. What is that alkaloid? Is alkaloid, that is the resorpin is there. They can release the alkaloid. What is that? Is the resorpin, both vomitoria and serpentina. But this alkaloid, which is alkaloid, is released by the both the vomitoria and serpentina, both, but it belongs to the same species. But this resorpin, the potency and concentration is the different. The potency and concentration is the different. Maybe the vomitoria can release the high level of the resorpin, but serpentine maybe comparing that low level of concentration and potency is different, because due to the habitation in the Himalaya ranges is different. Due to the genetic level of the biodiversity, we observe the chromosomal variations. Like that, due to the genetic level of the biodiversity, in India, the 50 types of rice plant is there. The 50 types of the 50 genetic level of the types of rice plant is there. The 1000 mangoes genetic level of biodiversity mangoes are present. Now we are going to explain the genetic level is completed. Next is the species level of the biodiversity. Which one? The species level of the biodiversity. What is the definition of species level of the biodiversity? The variation in the number and the richness of the species within a region. The number of the species in a region is different. What is the one thing Species richness Richness of the species, the depending upon the area. For example, you can take this is the one area, this is another area. It is a 100 centimeter, for example. It is a 10 centimeter, for example. Here the species is the 20,000. Here the species is the 10,000. Because here the area is more is there. That's why the species richness is high. Here the area is less, so the species richness is reduced, decreased. It means the species richness is depending upon the area of the particular region. This species richness, you can observe through the one example that you can take in India. First, once we draw the India map, a rough diagram of India. You can take the India. This is called Western Ghats. Western Ghats. This is Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats is which is the states is there. The coastal Maharashtra, Karnataka and Goa. This is the Western Ghats. Which is the Eastern Ghats is there, which is the AP, West Bengal, Odisha. This all are the what? The Eastern Ghats area. See that in Western Ghats also amphibians is there. And Eastern Ghats also the amphibians is there. But the number more in which is the amphibians is there, the Western Ghats, that is show the more diversified the comparing with the Eastern Ghats. Means here the Western Ghats, the amphibian numbers is the more the comparing with the Eastern Ghats, because here the more diversified. This is about the species level of the biodiversity. Next, ecological biodiversity. Ecological biodiversity. One is the level of biodiversity. The last one is the ecological biodiversity. This type of the ecological biodiversity, so well in India, the most of the diversity which type is there in India, ecological biodiversity. Because of that, the India, the rainforest is there, the mangroves is there, then after that coral reefs is there. Next, deciduous forest is there. So due to the presence of this all, the India is a more, which type of the biodiversity is there? Ecological biodiversity is there. What is the definition of ecology? Different type of the ecosystem and habitation. Why should happen this? Due to the different ecosystem and habitation. For example, grassland ecosystem, there is a habitation is a different. The desert ecosystem is a different. Aquatic ecosystem is a different. The forest ecosystem, there is also the difference is there. Why should happen this? It is depending upon due to the variety of the habitat and variety of the ecosystem. Variety of the ecosystem. Ecosystem can be defined the depending nature of the organism to the depending nature of organism one within other. That is about the ecosystem. This in ecological biodiversity are divided into three types. Basically, ecological biodiversity is divided into three types. What are that? Alpha ecological biodiversity. Next, beta ecological biodiversity. The next is a gamma ecological biodiversity. See, the three types is there: alpha ecological biodiversity, and the beta ecological biodiversity, and gamma ecological the biodiversity. In these three, we will explain through the. For example, you can take the like that one example. I want to explain here. See that alpha, beta and gamma that. See here that is a community A, community B that, community C that. Is a community, is a B community, it is a C community for example that. In that what is the alpha biodiversity? For example that alpha biodiversity. What is the alpha biodiversity? Which diversity takes place within the community? It is a one community. Within community, within a community, within a community means this here to here. This is called alpha. It is a one community. And within the C community, which is the diversity takes place, that is called alpha biodiversity. Next, beta biodiversity. Beta biodiversity means the biodiversity takes place between the this and this, between the two communities, between the community, between the community, which beta diversity between the community that. The next is the what? The last one is the gamma biodiversity. Gamma biodiversity. Gamma biodiversity means which biodiversity takes place whole geographical region, whole geographical region means between here to here, all geographical region. Which one is the gamma biodiversity? Alpha biodiversity within a community, beta biodiversity between the community, but gamma diversity all geographical region. This is a region that is called gamma biodiversity. This is about the level of biodiversity. The next class we are going to discussing about the pattern of biodiversity. Thank you, one and all.